Hello again, and if you're new here, welcome. I am Super Sparta, and we are here today to react to Internet Historian. I am become Fancy Theatre. I used to watch his Internet Historian like way back in the day, but I do not remember a single thing. I don't think I ever watched these ones, because it looked like there was a whole like list of stuff. But regardless, we'll be going and getting into this. I actually have like bits and pieces of theater experience. It's a long story. I won't get into it, but if I see any like tidbits or anything to talk about, I might do so. But with that, let's go ahead and get into it.
Brought to you by NordVPN.
NordVPN. This video meets the criteria of legal use, and those no citation, media herein, constant. Feel free to react to these videos, but please wait 48 hours for initial upload date before uploading to YouTube. Okay, so this video is like older, so it should be fine.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Look at you.
Me?
Uncultured. Unsophisticated. Middle class.
Early.
No, don't speak. You'll just make me throw up. I'd say cover up with this dinner jacket, but I'm afraid that you'd get your head stuck in the sleeve and asphyxiate.
Help, I'm stuck.
Listen, lowborn. Don't you want to
lowborn.
be refined?
Refined.
Don't you want to be fancy? Like
Sure.
moi? That's French. I don't expect you to know what it means, but I have...
I actually took like 3 or 4 years of French in college, and I can't speak a fucking word of it. I can read it at an okay level. I cannot, like, I won't get into it, but yeah. Also, I will agree, French, ew, gross.
some good news. Before this financial year ends, I have decided to make a charitable deduction. It's you, champ.
Me?
For you see, I...
You can have premarital sex.
There's virus.
Oh.
I have made several videos, though, which will show you how to bluff your way to the inner circles.
I don't know if that's a good thing right now with everything coming out, but
Detected. Yes. By the time the elites find out,
Neon Genesis Evangelion is psychological and
Yes.
intense.
it will be too late.
that
I
would be
get you
me.
in, you eat all the hors d'oeuvres, and we get out.
Ew.
That's the plan. And let's begin your instruction with... Theater. The
Theater.
YouTube premium of upper society.
So a scam.
And the first section? Symphony. The first period of performance, that's called Baroque.
Yes.
From 1600 to 1750. This featured Bach and Vivaldi. Now, there was also a guy named Giuseppe Tartini, and he was
Okay.
the best one of them all, because one evening he had a dream where the devil showed up and presented him with a deal. The devil would become his teacher and impart on him everything he knew about music.
Let's drop the bass.
Once Tartini had learnt everything he could, he handed over his violin and asked the devil to play. The devil played the greatest musical piece that Tartini...
How great was my astonishment on hearing a sonata so wonderful and so beautiful, played with such great art and intelligence, as I have never even conceived in my boldest flights of fantasy. I felt enraptured, transported, enchanted. My breath failed me.
had ever heard. Tartini woke up with a gasp, and he tried to recreate what he had heard in the dream. And what he wrote down was his most famous piece, the best thing he had ever written. And he said, "This is shite compared to the original. This is nothing better than a tribute." And that's where you get the Tenacious D song from.
Although they claim it's based on The Devil Went Down to Georgia, which is a more modernized take on the same story. Yeah, that's fair.
He named this piece The Devil's Trill, and he claimed that the difference between his version and the version in the dream was so great that he would have smashed his violin and quit music forever had he not needed it for his job.
Oh, fair.
Classical, 1750 to 1830. Mozart and Beethoven show up like da 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 da. Now, Beethoven was famously known for going deaf. Once that happened, everyone told him that he should just quit music forever. But he just wouldn't hear it. Anyway, there's so much I could say about these two.
What the hell was that? Let me go back. Oh, come on. I'm trying to... Okay. Okay, so... Yeah.
Romantic era.
Oh, we're just skipping. Okay, that's the joke. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm actually, I'm a history major. I actually went to college for history, got a degree and everything. Excuse me. So there's a couple tidbits that I always think are interesting. So Beethoven, yes, he did go partially and then completely deaf. I do believe that once he went deaf, I think he only made, 2 more musical pieces after that, and it took him much longer than usual. So it definitely did had an effect on his hearing, and I think he'd already kind of produced his best work. But give the guy credit for trying or working when he literally can't hear what he's composing. He's having to do it all in head noise. I think I read somewhere that he had a piece of metal or something in his mouth so he could feel the vibration of whatever he was playing. But I don't know how true that is. I think that's just something I read somewhere. Mozart, he's really interesting. Very, very eccentric. I believe what's that movie? Amadeus. I think the whole thing of him just kind of being dumped into a commoner's unmarked grave is true. Mozart had some crazy stuff going on. But anyway.
Now that's when everybody started kissing, and it's
romantic
my
period.
favorite. Great piece. Mwah. Oh, you played wonderfully too. Mwah. We also enjoyed listening. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. All you need to know about
what
this
the hell
one
is that?
Is Chopin and Berlioz. Berlioz, however, was not getting any kisses.
Oh no.
He was relatably, painfully single,
Hey.
living alone in Paris, the city of love. So here's how it started. He's there and he's in his early 20s, and he is looking for a new GF. So one day, he attends a Shakespearean play, and on stage, he spots an actress, and he immediately falls in love with her. He wrote her many notes, confessing his love, but her DMs went unreplied. So he began writing a symphony about her. How can she ignore this? And also around this time he started smoking a lot of opium, but don't worry about that.
That can only end well.
He wrote this piece just for her. However, his DM still went unreplied. For several months he started to get quite disheartened. Until he saw another girl. So he immediately fell in love with her instead, and he said, you know what? I'm going to change that symphony I wrote, so now it's about this other lady, and not about that ugly one that I didn't like anyway.
Of course.
This time, happily, she reciprocated,
Yay.
and they fell in love and were set to marry. Suddenly, what the fuck? Phones haven't been invented yet. Yes, hello, I'm busy. Oh, Rome? To study? Absolutely, I'll catch the first flight out. So, Berlioz went to Rome to study.
He was invited to study at the Villa Medici for 2 years.
Study music. However, while he was away, he got some news.
Berlioz, I have to tell you something.
Uh-oh. I'm pregnant. You're pregnant.
Sacre bleu. Some other, more handsome musician swooped in and married his girl while he was in Rome, and they ran away together.
Damn.
Berlioz was furious, and he set his mind to solving the problem. I know what I'm going to do.
Write more music. A diss track.
I'm gonna murder her.
Oh, jeez.
And her lover.
Okay.
And her mom.
Why?
And then I'm gonna do a self-murder.
Okay.
Alright, so this gets pretty elaborate. His idea is to dress up as a housemaid.
Not a joke. This really is his plans as described in his memoirs. He would affectionately name the former mother-in-law to be as the hippopotamus. He despised her especially because he believed she had set up the whole Mary While Away plan, motivated to prevent Camille from marrying Berlioz because he was poor. Also, what the hell is this image?
He has bought both poison and 2 guns. Now, he is going to sneak into the house of his ex-fiancée, and there she and her mother will be sipping tea, which he has already poisoned.
Okay.
Then he will pull off the clothing and reveal himself. Blam, blam, sad overture. So, he...
That seems so excessive. Why? I mean, I guess why not both?
heads back home to Paris to do it. But while on his travels there, takes quite a while.
Yeah.
He has to change carriages. And when he does that, he leaves the guns in one of the little cubbies.
Why am I rooting for him?
He's lost all his weapons. What is he going to do now? Well, his next leg on the stop is Genoa. And he decides, you know what? Let's just skip the murder and go straight to the finale. So he stops off in the port city of Genoa, and he's there at the side of the Mediterranean. He pauses for a moment, then he throws himself.
Oh no.
Now, some people see this whole thing happen, and they think he's had an accident, so they run in to try to save him. They pull him to the shore. He lived.
Okay.
So he has now reached his lowest point. He dejectedly continues home. He gets back to Paris, and he wallows around, feeling pretty sorry for himself. But he decides, you know what? I may as well do what I do best in times of trouble.
Music!
Smoke a lot of opium. And while I do that, I shall write a symphony.
Okay.
Although I ain't gonna name it after that hoe who stole my heart. And so he went back to work. But here's the thing. It was the greatest piece he had ever written. And it premiered to a huge crowd. And you know what? It was a smash.
It was called the Symphonie Fantastique. It is the piece currently playing. Oh, okay. literally, like, I mean, granted, some of the best things I've ever done has been out of spite, so fair.
And so he went back to work. But here's the thing. It was the greatest piece he had ever written. And it premiered to a huge crowd. And you know what? It was a smash hit. #1 on iTunes. But then,
BTS.
Here's a bloody plot twist. Remember the first girl?
Oh, no.
Well, she attended that concert, and she realized that Berlioz was a genius.
Also, she was getting old, and her career was circling the drain. Yeah, that's about what I was worried about.
And then she wrote a letter to your boy saying how good your bloody symphony was, and sorry about not replying, I just put my phone down and got super busy or whatever. By the way, I love you. And so Berlioz goes, well, I love you too. And a year later, they were married. There's a beautiful moral of the story. See, fellas, don't jump in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
Anyway, a few years later, they got divorced.
Oh, no.
Because weirdly, he cheated on his wife with the housemaid. Not that one, a different one.
Okay.
But then he married that housemaid. Hooray.
Okay.
But then when he died later on, for some reason, he gets buried with both of them. It's kind
What?
of strange.
Here lies Harriet Smithson and Marie Recchio.
But,
Wait, like, in the same... Whatever.
moving on to the Impressionist musicians.
Okay.
Now that's Claude de...
Oh.
The what now?
Yeah.
Claude the what? You know what? You'd better go to ad time. Okay, guys, welcome back to the Nord Stream.
God. How did you get a picture of me?
Assassin's Creed 3. Chat, come on, chat. Hey, everyone's spamming Nord in the chat.
That winning feeling you love?
Oh, shit.
Chat. Whoa, a new follower! Hey, welcome to the Dream Team Sub Cream. Thank you so much for the great. Oh, unfollowed.
Yeah, no, for real.
Sorry, guys. The cleaners are here. Sorry, just ignore the mess. I haven't cleaned up these bottles yet. No, it's just tea. It's just tea.
Oh, no.
I stream for 10 hours a day, and it's like the algorithm is against me or something.
Mood.
How come everyone is watching Asmon's stream, and I'm not getting any new followers? I'm playing the games. What more do you want me to do? Just a quick word from the sponsor. NordVPN is the VPN that you can trust. So go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge deal on a 2-year plan plus 4 bonus months for free, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee. My God. Today we are gonna be watching the new Snow White movie. I love the intro. Oh, I love seeing that Disney logo. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Guys, I'm just gonna get up and get some food. I'll be back in a minute. What the f? Who reported my stream? Hello, my Nordlings. Welcome back to the stream. Can we get some ends in the chat, guys? No, like, not like
Oh,
that.
no.
Mods! Welcome back to the ASMR stream.
I'm actually turning this down. This is like, I don't like
Today I'm
ASMR
gonna be
stuff.
Drinking a can of Coke while I say the word Nord. Nord.
Yeah, I don't like
For
this.
the tier 3 sub. With NordVPN, I can be outside my house, Jack's Film's house, Samito's house, Ordinary Things house. Just like that. Welcome back to the hot tub stream.
Oh, no.
What do you guys mean? How many hot dogs can I put in my mouth? Why?
God.
Oh my God, $5,000 donation. Thank you so much. You guys are
Excuse me while I go buy a hot tub real quick.
such good friends. Streaming's not for me. I'd rather go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian to get a huge deal on a 2-year plan plus 4 months for free.
For
And
free?
Watching Netflix, are you?
No, not really.
All
Ew.
tucked in with a 3-hour essay on Good Game Good, and here's why.
Okay.
Fallout New Vegas is actually the only based Bethesda game.
Turn that off. I've got something for you much less enjoyable and far more expensive. We're going to the theater. Theater, from the ancient Greek theatron.
Yes.
The most dramatic of the Transformers.
Probably. Nah,
It means
Starscream.
a play-
Nah, Starscream still got it.
For viewing. Here's a Roman theater.
Yes.
They were quite simple back then. You have the stage, the auditorium, and the vomitorium.
The exit,
Now, for
yep.
a very long time, people thought that the vomitorium was a place where the Romans would gorge themselves, where they would eat so much that they would throw up and then gorge themselves again
Yep.
because they were so decadent and
I mean, they were, but
or bulimic. But it comes from the word vomir, which means to spew forth.
Correct.
Because that's where people go in and out. So vomitorium is just a dramatic way of saying the entrance. Now, if you skip forward to the 1800s, things are getting a lot more modernized. But they still didn't have electric. So they had what's called the limelight.
yep.
And that's why they say, to be in the limelight, to be the star of the show.
That's also why there was a lot of issues with theaters being like massive fire hazards, because it's essentially a piece of lime that's been like heated up crazy hot, and it like then put into like a kind of like a reflective chamber type thing. But you gotta get like stupid hot. But anyway.
What they would do was take a piece of quicklime
Oh.
and heat it up super hot,
Yes.
which will naturally glow very bright.
When heated to 2400 degrees Celsius, the chlorine reacts with slaked lime to form sodium hypochlorite and calcium chloride and emits a bright white light. Overheard on the
It
bus.
would then take reflective mirrors and lenses to focus the beam, and they would use that as
Yes.
an early form of the spotlight. The limelight is not because it's green, but because it's made from quicklime. In the modern day, things are a lot more advanced, and they can do all sorts of cool shit with like lasers going into your eyeballs and all sorts of stuff. But it's not just the tech that's had an upgrade, it's the architecture as well. In Elizabethan times, they had the yard, and you could get in here for about a penny apiece. And this is where all the poor people stood to watch the shows. It's like when you go to Oppenheimer and you end up with the worst seats in the IMAX theater, right? What's the
there's a new movie. There's a movie, like Shakespearean movie, Hamnet, that just came out. That apparently is really, really good, and it seems to. I saw like a clip or two of it, and it has the yard being depicted and stuff.
Thankfully, in modern times, we have fixed that problem. We kicked out all the poor people, and we sunk the floor down low, and put in an orchestra pit. Now, these things are usually 6 to 12 feet deep.
They are very
so
deep,
they're not obstructing the audience's view. But having a giant hole at the end of a stage is quite dangerous. So usually they put a big net there as well. And yet, a lot of people still get pitted.
What's that one? It's like a skit, but it's the Peter Pan one, where the bed collapses and the maid is like, "Are you all right, Sean?" And the guy's head's just spin between the bed frame, and he's just screaming.
Like a lot of people. In 2011, during a production of The Sound of Music, one of the lead actresses fell into the orchestra pit and was left paralyzed from the waist down. In 2000,
oh Lord,
fell into the orchestra pit and was left.
The accident occurred in November 2011. Monica remains paralyzed from the waist down to this day. Oh no!
Paralyzed from the waist down. In 2009, a conductor, not a superconductor, just a regular one, fell 14 feet into the dark pit.
Oh.
And broke 9 vertebrae.
The conductor made a full recovery. That's good. And wrote 24 healing hymns during his recovery. He now plays these hymns for the sick and elderly. Oh, that's nice.
One ankle. Mamma mia. 9 vertebrae and 1 ankle.
I just heard the...
Mamma mia. And he fell on his pointy conducting thing. At the Bolshoi Theatre, a violinist died from his injuries after falling into the pit. This theatre...
This has become significantly less fun.
Died from his
Viktor Sadov, the 65-year-old man, fell into the pit on the 16th of July 2013. He survived the fall initially, but died the following day in hospital. He had been working at the theater for 4 decades. Oh no!
Injuries after falling into the pit. This theater is prone to all sorts of
the Bolshoi. Okay, yeah, no.
Accidents, by the way. It's kind of cursed. But performers
That's
in
like
this
acid
theater
attack?
is prone
Was crushed to death, confesses to acid attack.
all sorts of accidents, by the way. It's kind of cursed.
Yeah.
But performers and musicians aren't the only ones falling into the pit. In 1988, an 82-year-old man fell from his balcony box seating all the way down into the pit during a performance of Macbeth.
During the intermission, the man was seating on the balcony rail. When an usher requested he not, he tipped over backwards and fell. Oh yeah, kid, watch this. Okay, that's messed up. This man died.
He died. Very spooky. Even already dead people are getting pitted. In 2016, a man sprinkled his friend's ashes into the orchestra pit at the Met Theatre. This happened during the intermission, and it was a sort of tribute to a mentor of his. But of course, people went, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh,
he goes,
he didn't...
"Oh, I don't know," and he flees the scene.
Oh, he didn't ask?
Everyone's coughing and sneezing up dead guy. And people think, is this anthrax? What is this? So they call in the anti-terrorism police.
The incident occurred on October 29th, 2016. The man responsible, Roger Kaiser, was seen by several musicians sprinkling a white powdery substance in the pit. The ashes were his friend's, Terry Turner, who died of cancer. He was not charged, and he wrote an open letter of apology. Okay, that's not a horrible outcome.
And the whole show is cancelled for the rest of the evening. A quick intermission.
Okay.
Or is it?
Oh.
Ooh, fiddle-tee-dee, I am the trap master. Not like that.
Oh.
Do not ask me to reveal my secrets, woman. I have dedicated my life to the mysteries of the theater.
I actually really like Phantom of the Opera. I know it's kind of a little bit of a generic pick, but no, me and a very good friend, we really like Phantom. So.
The theater. She has so many enigmatic traps. Let us start with the most simple yet devious. The wall trap. It allows the actor to walk directly into the set piece.
I was just gonna say, I've seen a couple of these, not in really theater productions, but I think I've seen a few of these in really old movies. They might even have some in the original Phantom of the Opera, I want to say.
Where did he go? Nobody knows. Cast your eyes over here to the genie trap. Now the victim stands on this dumbwaiter, and a counterweight launches their hapless body up onto the stage.
That's cool.
Whoosh.
Oh, that's cool.
In the olden days, this circle of flaps would sometimes go on top, and then that would make the whole thing just one way. Flaps would sometimes...
There's a real standardization problem with traps. When this covering is added, the whole apparatus is sometimes renamed a star trap, but the trap itself, the part that moves people on and off stage, is actually just the genie trap with a new covering. Although genie trap isn't quite an accurate either, and more of a colloquialism specific to the Aladdin stage play, referring to the trap the genie character uses. Okay, that makes sense where the name came from. The better term would be spring lift, but in research we seldom found it used. Interesting.
On top, and then that would make the whole thing just one way. Now, back when they made this thing, they didn't have hydraulics. So instead, they'd have 6 stagehands pulling as fast as they could.
Oh, that's fun.
And sometimes it would go totally wonky, or it wouldn't open properly.
Oh.
Or they'd only get about halfway through.
Oh.
Oh, well, I guess that's it. There's only 2. Wrong. This is the vampire trap. And if I want to come back up again, this is called the sunroof trap. Very cool.
It is cool.
Watch out for the closing doors on this one.
Oh,
they managed
yeah.
to trap Spider-Man's foot back into production in 2013.
Oh, God.
They managed to trap...
That whole Spider-Man turn off the light, turn off the night, whatever the hell that one was, that is such a cluster. I might need to find a video essay. I don't know if I'll react to it, but I need to find a video essay. Did that ever happen? Did they ever put on one successful production that didn't go horribly awry, or didn't immediately have to go into another year of rewrites and pre-production? On Thursday evening, Daniel Curry, an ensemble dancer and understudy, was seriously injured after his leg became pinned in a trap door that appeared to have closed.
Spider-Man's foot back into production in 2013. Me and the Green Goblin.
Not quite closed trapdoor.
We
Badly broke his leg. Oh no.
All right, there's one more. The ghost glide.
Ooh.
What you do is stand on this slidey bit, and it ascends diagonally, which makes it look like he's coming out of the ground. But the ladies, they're yawning, they're going, ooh, short ghost.
Oh no.
But then... 5 foot, 5 foot 1, 5 foot 2. All the ladies are turning their heads now. 5 foot 3, 5 foot 4, 5 foot 5. All the ladies are loving it.
Is that all it takes as a ghost?
You're wondering, what happens to the actors when they go down these traps? Are they dead and gone forever? Yes, sometimes.
Oh.
In 1888, Frederick Federici was playing the role of Mephistopheles in Faust at
cool.
the Princess Theatre in Melbourne. As he descended the trap at the end of the play, goodbye, everybody, goodbye. He had a heart attack and died.
Oh, jeez. It was March 3rd, 1888, opening night. There was a doctor backstage who immediately attended to him, but he couldn't be revived. He was only 37 years old. Oh, no.
Never.
I was going to say, 1888. I don't know if they really knew if there was any real way to save that.
Seen again. So as you can imagine, with this many...
Oh, jeez.
The theater has become a highly haunted place. Oh, yes. In fact, sometimes you can put your ear right up to the wall and you can hear 2 male ghosts wrestling. Can't fake that. Ah, another ghost hole. Don't look inside. I did once. Almost went blind. That's why I wear the mask.
Shut up.
Because of all the ghosts, the theaters do...
Okay. I will say, from my anecdotal experience, yeah, this kind of tracks.
whatever they can to keep the spirits happy. See this? It's called a ghost light. When everything is closed, it is kept on always. Kept on for the ghosts, so that they don't... It is kept on...
Also, so that alive people don't fall off the stage and hurt themselves. It's a superstition, but also a useful liability thing.
Always. Kept on for the ghosts, so that they don't, bump their shins in the dark or whatever. At the Palace Theatre in London, there has been some ghostly activity.
It seems to be a bit of a hotspot for ghostly activities.
And that's why they always keep 2 empty seats at the back, so that
Yes.
the ghosts may sit there and watch the show.
Correct.
So that's why we traditionally kept a couple of seats off sale for the ghosts. However, Harry Potter is so popular that we sell those seats now.
Oh. Okay.
Also, most theatres close for 1 day per week, and on those days, the ghosts are left to perform for each other in their own shows. Which they like, we think.
I was worried about my own vagina.
What?
It
Finally, the vagina monologues.
a
Oh.
culture of other vaginas.
You know,
The
I
fucking
wasn't
clip on
always
his
part
back.
of the elite. In fact, from a very young age, I grew up in an orphanage. No, my parents weren't dead. Rent in that building was just really cheap. But my parents showed me no affection. And as soon as they could, they sent me off to boarding school. But boards were always their passion, not mine.
I hate this.
I tried to run away, but they caught me. And boy, did they throw the book at me. Alas, I did not dodge in time. I spent the next few years in a coma.
Oh no.
A Native American town, Pueblo, Acoma.
Shut up.
And the people there taught me how to read American. They also had a local library, and I spent my days buried in books, learning as much as I could about
the
the
hell?
arts.
Okay.
And once someone noticed me buried under those
Oh.
books, and they rescued me, I knew I wanted to teach
There's
default
too many
character
puns.
presets like yourselves, all about Shakespeare.
Okay.
Editor's note: I started Googling Shakespeare, and I got kind of distracted. So I don't know. Here's a WAV file. You can do something with this. Put him in like a classroom or something. All right, attention, everybody. I am your new teacher. You are a bunch of troubled inner city youths. All
Okay.
you know is shoot gun, fail test, and crime. But I'm here to teach you that actually books and reading and stuff are actually pretty epic after all.
Oh, I thought that was gonna hit somebody in the face.
Now, the earliest known written language is what, Mr. Single Parent Household?
Oh. Okay, well now I'm not gonna answer.
I don't know, Teach, but you're never gonna get through to me.
Cuneiform would probably be what they're pulling for.
Oh, really? Well, what if I go back in time? Back in time. In the long, long ago, very
Yep.
few could read. But to be fair, most of the written languages were kinda shit. This is cuneiform, the very first written language.
It's actually really, really interesting. The language was written with like a stylus. But yeah, no. I'm trying to think. There was something recently with like, I don't remember. I'm getting off tangent.
And it has far too much punctuation. Then eventually came along the Egyptians, and they invented emojis, but they would
Yes.
call them hieroglyphs. Anyway, the typical written thing would go like this. Message for you, sir. Big bird, man with stick, man sitting, circle. Oh, more bills. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Eventually,
Yep.
that became quite annoying, so the Phoenicians were a kind of Lebanese. Very progressive, especially for those days. Now, that came up.
That's what it's do, girl. Okay, I get the humor, but also my history brain is just
With a better idea. They started going, hey, that sounds a bit like an A. Buh, that sounds a bit like a B. K, and so on and so on, until we had a proto-form of the alphabet.
It was more complicated than that, yes. But this does form the backbone for the... I mean, pretty much what every, like, pretty much every Euro, like, Anglo-Saxon... Well, I mean, more than Anglo-Saxon, because, like, the French use it, the Germans use it. Like, it forms the backbone of, like, European and European-descended language as far as the letters used, I should say. I don't really know. My brain's...
Now, the Greeks thought that was pretty neato, but they said, let's come up with an even better version with 22 letters, and soon that will be like English.
It's hurting my brain.
With 22 letters, and soon that will be like English. Oral history. Greeks more like geeks. Got 'em. Oh, yeah? Well, let me tell you about something highly relatable. Of the surviving Greek works, the greatest hits were the Iliad and the Odyssey. Now,
and the Aeneid, but also don't worry about that. Was the Aeneid Greek or was it Roman? I want to say it was Roman. But yes, Iliad and Odyssey would be like the big Greek ones.
because most people couldn't read, this stuff wasn't written down for a very long time.
Correct.
And instead it was memorized and performed. And when they performed it, they used one of these, a lyre. Now, this was great for conveying tone, right? So here's a soft bit, doo-doo-doo, but then this is a big dramatic bit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Now, the Iliad starts with this guy, Menelaus,
Yes.
king of Sparta. And he has a wife, Helen, and she is a very fine lady. And
is.
then the Prince of Troy shows up. His name is Paris. And he goes, damn, shorty, awooga, awooga. Hey, that's what he'd say.
Yeah,
right?
that's what we'll go with.
And he and his boys abduct her and took her all the way back to his crib in Troy.
Okay, yeah, in some versions, Helen goes voluntarily. That is a big thing with the Greek mythology, Greek mythology, is, there was no real centralization in the Greek city-states. So what you end up when you're studying Greek history, as far as like the mythology side of things, is you have a lot of very localized variations. One of the big ones is that there's like every city-state had its own version of like, yeah, Heracles totally came by and killed like a crazy lion or monster or whatever, and like killed all the animals that were killing our crops and our sheep and whatever. There is like a surface level, like the general consensus, but even that's really like inconsistent if you want to go into like different characterizations of like the actions of certain characters. For example, this, where it's like, was Helen voluntarily going with Paris, or was she abducted? And in the case of like, in the interpretation of like, did Aphrodite just like completely like mind wipe her, zap her brain because of the whole deal with the golden apple? It gets into a whole tangent of things, but that's part of the reason I really love like Greek mythology. It's probably one of my favorite mythologies to dive into, is all the weird idiosyncrasies and like variations and stuff. But anyway.
Now this makes Menelaus quite miffed.
Hey, hold on there, Buster.
He declares a turf war, but he can't win it alone, so he calls on his homies. Odysseus, king of Ithaca, and Achilles, the best drive-by shooter of all time. But Achilles is not in the mood to fight, so
Achilles won a beautiful maiden as a war prize, but Agamemnon, king of Mycenae, took the maiden for himself. Achilles felt so dishonored by the whole thing, he refused to help in the Trojan War. Other versions include him being prevented from bad touching a particular woman of low nobility. It gets complicated. Yeah.
best drive-by shooter of all time. But Achilles is not in the mood to fight, so the whole of the Iliad is basically spent trying to convince this guy to get involved.
Yes.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
Eventually, they win the turf war by being very sneaky. They make a giant horse, which is the symbol of Troy.
Troy was especially known for its trade in horses. They were seen as a symbol of the city's might. Also, Poseidon had a big backing for Troy. So the yeah, Poseidon had a big backing in the city of Troy, so something like a gift horse, like that the Trojan horse ended up being, would have been something that they would have like wanted to put on display.
And they leave it at the front gate. That's their way of saying, "Oh, I guess you win. We're walking away now." And meanwhile, thousands of soldiers go off and hide in some bushes. Now, the Trojans are very suspicious, but they can see that the Greek ships are actually sailing away into the horizon.
Yeah.
So they know, no, it must be real, must be real.
Some versions have the ships simply full of soldiers and then sailing back at night rather than hiding somewhere on land waiting for nightfall.
We've won the many years.
But essentially, they cleared out the camp, the war camp.
But actually, there's almost no one on those ships, and there's a surprise inside the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Later that night, when everyone's asleep, boiling hot tzatziki everywhere.
What?
And also some soldiers wearing thermal protection. They get out and they...
Okay. There was no hot tzatziki. It was some elite soldiers, SAF at the time, hiding in there. Some misunderstandings or simplifications of the story have the idea an entire small army was hauled up in the horse. No, the take I always interpreted is that essentially it was enough crew, like enough soldiers to get from where the Trojan horse was put to get to the front gate and like open the gate for the main source, for the main force. He'll probably talk about it here in a second, but essentially, if you're going off the version of like all the remaining soldiers went on like the ships and stuff, they essentially sailed like right over the edge of the horizon and just kind of hung out. And then as soon as like the sun went down, they doubled back to make a nighttime landing. One detail that never really gets covered, if I remember correctly, like it's been a long time since I actually like sat down and read the Iliad.
Open the gates, and then everyone comes out of the bushes, running into the city, and kill everybody. After they win the war, Odysseus heads back home to Ithaca. Mm-hmm. However, on his way, he starts making beef with Poseidon.
Generally a bad move.
And Poseidon is mad at the...
Odysseus was supposed to give his thanks to the gods, sort of. It's complicated. And then he blinded Poseidon's son, Polyphemus, the Cyclops, yeah. Odysseus is actually, like, regarded as, like, being kind of one of the... I guess you would say morally better of the people, of the Greeks that went to go fight in Troy. Not that any, like, the story gives any real, like, moral, like, what would you call it? Like, it doesn't really condemn Achilles or Agamemnon for their whole thing, involving, like, a woman that is very unwillingly in a situation. The bad touch situation that Internet Historian brought up earlier. But unfortunately, that's more a thing of this is a cultural norm for the time. Therefore, in the Odyssey or in the Iliad, there's no real condemnation. The condemnation comes more that there's like that. The condemnation comes more of like the fight that breaks out more over what the fight was over, if that makes sense. But I do remember, if I remember correctly, Odysseus is like, there's a specific mention that it's like, Odysseus is like, shoot, yeah, I'm trying to remember exact terminology of something I haven't read in years, but regardless. But yes, it is complicated.
Disrespect. So he sends Odysseus on a long-ass detour, and that detour is the story of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Pretty epic, right, kids?
Should do a reaction to Epic the Musical sometime. I think that'd be really cool.
The Odyssey. Pretty epic, right, kids?
Oh, shoot. I know... Oh, come on. I know... I know it's an old joke by now, but I do love the whole thing of, like, Homer. Oh, man, what should I name the main character of my story, The Odyssey? I know...
Whoa, Tish, that's fire. I'm starting to come around. That Odysseus guy is literally me. Yeah, I'm gonna try that horse trick on my ops. Homer from Homer's Odyssey is not a character in the story.
Yes.
He's the guy who tells the story, and then people wrote it down. Now, moving chronologically to the next big one, you've got the Bible. And for all practical purposes, this was basically an oral tradition too.
Yeah. Oh, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's super, super good. It's really weird. It's like, it's a game for insane people because it's like all immersive sim, but... No, you play Kingdom Come Deliverance if you like those kind of games.
And for all practical purposes, this was basically an oral tradition too. Most people were illiterate by this point.
Okay, actually, I think he's about to bring up this point here. Literacy rates in the 1400s were about 10% for men and about 1.5% for women. But it's more complicated because the definition of literate often denoted the ability to read and write Latin, or Greek sometimes. Correct. To really learn literacy, one would go to a grammar school. But in the contemporary sense of literature, where you could sound out most things and roughly get by, what they would call Leger, up to half the population may have had the skill set according to some sources. When you think about it, it only makes sense. Otherwise, why have signs like Ye Olde Tavern if only a few people know what it says? From the parchment and paper manuscript culture from the 11th, from 1100 to 1500. So that's actually a really interesting point.
And the Bible was written in Latin.
Yes.
And pretty much only the clergy knew Latin. So they would be the one to recite it to people.
It says that the cute lady at the front should go on a date with me, please. Listen, the rules are the rules. I didn't say it, the book did.
There was a translated version into English, the Wycliffe's Bible.
Yes.
And you better believe that thing was a threat to the order.
Yeah.
So they made that illegal to own.
Very.
And if you were found with an unlicensed copy, the punishment would be death.
Yep.
So it remained. The Bible was read to the people. Now, by the 1300s came Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales.
Yep.
And that was a pretty big deal.
Get this book now.
Because it's one of the first significant works written in Middle English.
Yes.
It describes a bunch of people making a pilgrimage from Southwark to Canterbury.
What the hell?
A bunch of people making a pilgrimage from Southwark.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that image? Okay. Yes.
Canterbury, which is here to here, which was the longest journey anyone had ever made in the 1300s.
This is not true. It's not even a particularly crazy... Well, 1300s for the time. Like, if you're walking it, it's not a short pilgrimage, but whatever.
And now, it's a whole series of stories,
Yeah.
and most of them can be boiled down to, how come if everyone is on a pilgrimage, you're all so focused on material stuff? Oh, hypocrites much? Dong.
Also, I believe it's technically unfinished. I don't remember to what regard it's considered unfinished. Actually, let me look that up real quick. Yes, the Canterbury Tales is famously unfinished, as, oh shoot, I don't know how to pronounce his name, died in 1400 before completing his ambitious plan. Yes, so yeah, for each of the 30 pilgrims to tell 4 stories, resulting in only 24 tales and no conclusion to the storytelling contest or the return journey. So...
It's now the 1600s, and
Okay.
they've updated all the textbooks from Middle English to regular. In 1601, King James I...
Well, 1600s would be Old New English, but yes, continue. Oh, King James,
said,
the...
All right, you know what? Let's everyone have a copy of the Bible they can read. Let's do a King James Bible. I won't feature in it, but I'd love to be in the title. And he commissioned a committee of scholars to rewrite the thing in English.
Correct.
God's language.
Now I can't speak Spanish or anything.
It took 8 years. And that brings us to Shakespeare. And he's a huge deal. Oh, look, we're out of time. but sir, we're supposed to do penis inspection day today.
What?
No, there's no time. Roll the end card. The end. Alright, that's the lesson. You watched the whole video.
Yay!
Or at least, you had it on in the background while you scrolled your phone. And I couldn't be prouder of you. There's just one more quick thing I want to tell you about. Theater props. For example, this gun.
Oh?
Now, the thing... Oh.
Oh, no.
I know what you're thinking, but it's just an actor. We all know that the real Lincoln is dead. When he fell asleep on the tracks of the Underground Railroad.
I don't think... Okay.
This thing is super realistic. Although the trigger is a little loose. Ruh-roh. Oh, I can't believe you did that.
Me?
But I won't tell anyone. And, in fact, good news. I'm gonna make you my little protege.
Yay!
And I will be your protojo. And I got so many more lessons to teach. Still here, huh? Yes, just a little cleaning. More good news. Next video is almost done. It'll be on incognito mode, and it's about the arts. And the next main channel video is also nearly done. That'll be out shortly after. If you're looking for more content in the meanwhile, we have another channel called Story Mode. The Metal Gear Solid and Forspoken videos are especially good. Don't forget NordVPN. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Thank you for the video. Okay, that was the end.
VPN.
All right. That was I Am Become Fancy Theatre by Internet Historian. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end here. My yapping probably extended this video to about 45 minutes, maybe. I don't know. Oh, Lord. Regardless, thank you all so much for watching. If you have any video suggestions, please throw them down in the comments below. I would be very interested to see what people want me to react to. I will hopefully see you all in the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll have more soon. Bye. If I remember correctly, there's a part mentioned where Helen is kind of really, really sus of the Trojan horse. Actually, she wasn't the only one, but it turned out a lot better for Helen than the other people. But Helen was really, really sus of the whole thing, so she starts calling to the soldiers inside with the voices of their wives and stuff. And keep in mind, it's been about 10 years since this war's been going on. Everybody being away from home. So she was trying to she was mind game psyching them out, trying to get them to reveal themselves. As for what happened to the other people that tried to warn Troy about the Trojan horse, shoot, what's her name? There's one who is her whole thing is that she was Apollo was interested in her, and she was yeah, you can totally sleep with me, but you have to give me the gift of prophecy first. And Apollo was hell yeah, baby, I'll do that. And she got the prophecy stuff, and then was actually, never mind, you can't sleep with me. So Apollo cursed her so that she would have all these prophetic visions and visions of disaster, but no one would ever believe her. So she would try in vain to warn people about the things she saw coming, but was never able to get anyone to believe her to prevent the tragedy. I want to say her name was Cassandra. And I'm only pulling that because I think there's something called Cassandra Tears in one of the Harry Dresden novels, where there's a girl who comes to Dresden in one of the early books. But yeah, I'm sorry to get off tangent. I think the other person that tried to warn the Trojans of like, hey, that horse is sus as hell. Don't bring it in the city. If I remember correctly, a bunch of like snakes come flying out of the ocean and like strangle them to death. Yeah, Greek mythology is fucking nuts, man. There's a very old school definition of what literacy was, which essentially, as he said, was the ability to read the Bible, which would have been either Latin or Greek. A lot of things, like if you're going around like the average town or city, a lot of signs and a lot of businesses were denoted by like more pictograph signs. That's why you see a lot of inns that have a lot of depictions of older like shops and inns have what would you call it, like usually like animal motifs and that kind of stuff, which is why like, and then like kind of a name attributed to that, but the name is kind of like it is kind of describing what the sign is, so that like if somebody goes, oh, you need to go down to the fucking rock dog or whatever, or like I don't know, like then the sign would be like a picture of a rock and a picture of a dog. I can't think of any like specific examples. A lot of chickens, and I was really trying hard not to say cock in the traditional sense of the word, mind you, but I was like, my brain was just not cooperating where it needed to be. Regardless, oh shoot, where was I getting that? Yeah. But yes, you would have had a lot of people that would have been able to read sort of the lingua franca of the time and of the region, that they wouldn't be able to read in like a sort of academic way, but they would have been able to read like an important decree that came around, for example. Now granted, they have like criers and stuff like that for that purpose, but again, I'm starting to get really off topic here.